Takulandirani ku AMTV Malawi kuchimake kwa nkhani zenizeni. Ngati nkhani imeneyo kuno kulibe, dziwani kuti nkhani imeneyo ndi yabodza.
Let me take you through the list and justify the need for such an order. A list indetele kwambiri. I'll just leave you a copy. Kuti muone the number of producers we have in each category. For each item we have restricted, there are a number of producers across the region that are, okay, Palawawa, can you go down? There are some as well, so I want to make a list. Anyway, Sangawelenge, one just for the sake of the meal, I want to go to natural, but we've got the list here. So we've got several producers of whatever we have issued a restriction ban, action order, who are producing, and we need to shield them from the national market because that's certified by MBS. So with this restriction order, we enhance local production capacity. As I've explained, we've got the leather shoes, which are safety boots. So if MDF can buy, Nangaku Police, we talk of prison services, security companies, offer private security companies, they can buy. If MDF, the major security in Malawi, can get from us, why not us? Huh? And they produce 100 boots per day. It means if you give them an order of 3,000, within a month you have your leather boots. Can school, they can produce 100 of them per day. So we are able to produce with our local SMEs together with SMEDI at Chileka. The same is true for dairy milk products, including powdered milk. You know, where is that powdered milk? Where is that one? This is the first production company in Malawi producing powdered milk. All right? And it's produced by Mac Milk Company Limited in Mpemba, owned by an indigenous black Malawian. But his story is a sad one. Go on my Facebook page, there's a clip. You see how he was lamenting how the financial institutions shortchanged him. Enage, Anabi, and the proposal, among some submits everything, the viability plan, the feasibility studies, the cash flow, everything, the guarantees. One man also been Kenya go never responding to his calls and messages. Next thing, we know Age and Zatu from Southeast Asia calls him. Achimene, company anu dichani kodi. So this guy is asking questions which are exactly in his business plan, which means the financing institution might have sold his business plan to someone else to borrow his idea. That's the struggle of indigenous black Malawians as far as production is concerned. And we must shield this guy. And I asked the PS the possibility of protecting this factory so that no one else, whosoever bought that business plan, must not be allowed to produce for the next 10 years. So that we protect this gentleman because it's the first of this kind and others have tried to copy his style. As a country, we need to safeguard such kind of producers. So as a ministry, we are looking at the possibilities of protecting this gentleman for the next 10 years. Because the financial institution, we believe, from the questions we're asking him, that's what another business plan. And when he got funding elsewhere, some people went there and started accusing them, why did you fund this guy? We can do the same thing. And unfortunately, no discrimination, nothing against anyone, but we're just speaking reality of the black indigenous Malawians when they want to grow as SMEs. We have Mr. Daniel Kwizombe of DEK Engineering, who has made tremendous strides in the energy sector by producing Echolite LED energy bulbs, which are currently being sold in ShopRite across all the regions, made locally. By the way, at Pole, we have got, with the help of UNDP, UNDP, to panga my molds for my bulb holders, anything that he requires to be molded, we are able to do that from Polytechnic. That's happening locally. Someone with the engineering, World Engineering Day at BICC last Friday, I molded my holders in Mozambique. I said, no, we're doing it at Polytechnic. Why go outside the country when you can produce? He didn't know. So it's an issue of awareness, so that people know exactly what we are able to do as a country. job creation, and economic empowerment. Most of the times, they bring their people from elsewhere. I saw this as Minister of Labor. You've got someone coming as a foreign investor. He gets people from Pakistan to come and work from supervisor, watchman, We saw it at Labor, and got evidence for that. My brother Japusa can agree with me, But the local Malawians want to do that. They will do what is right to empower their fellow Malawians. Protection of local industries, so that we give them a chance to grow, because they have the capacity, but they can't compete. Someone number company up in Patalero. There's a company from South Africa or elsewhere that started 20 years ago. You can't compete. You just can't compete. We have to take a deliberate step to shield our local manufacturers and producers so that they can grow. Give them room to make mistakes, and they'll grow. That's what happened elsewhere. Otherwise, we'll never grow out of economic crisis as a country. Access to finance. I will soon be meeting together with the directors and the PS of the Ministry of Trade and Industry, the Bankers Association of Malawi, and the CEOs of all commercial banks, including government finance institutions, to support this noble cause of giving proper access to finance for our SMEs who want to buy machinery or want to buy whatever they want to buy, so they can enhance their production, increase on quality, and maintain consistency. And as a ministry, we are in touch with our colleagues from Ministry of Finance and MRA that for such, let's exercise for such kind of people, let's help them with tax incentives so that they are able to buy and be able to produce, and let them swim and learn to fly later. With this restitution order, number one, we will be engaging supermarkets such as ShopRite, game stores, Sana, Chipiku, KFC on corporate social responsibility. Instead of importing batatesi, kuku, mazira, whatever they do, it is in their enlightened interest that they must invest in the local agribusiness value chain by empowering existing indigenous farmers to produce to required standards. Help our farmers produce to the same standard that you want. In Kenya, one Minister of Trade Industry went into one of these eateries like KFC, McDonald's, whatever, but I don't mention the name. Then he said, why are you importing chickens from South Africa? No, the chickens from South Africa got different thighs. South Africa is so special than any other chicken from elsewhere. He closed the company. It was a court case and they lost in court because it didn't make sense. And that's how everything changed. And they started empowering local farmers in Kenya, and they buy from local farmers in Kenya. Why not us? But Malawi can go tell where, Nanga KFC, where. Anyway, that's Malawians. We should do something like that. But yeah, we will not relent and we'll move forward. I'm sorry. As a ministry, through the Department of SMEs and Cooperatives headed by my brother Kachuwa there, we'll be pushing farmers at Sangano, Chesi, Gender, etc. to form cooperatives. I'm happy to say that there are already other people who have put them together, like at Gender, at Sangano, in form of cooperatives, and they're able to work together as a team, so that we should be able to help them find their goods in ShopRite, their goods in Sana, because you can't expect one single mom or one young farmer at Gender to find the market alone at Food Lovers or at ShopRite or at game stores. We are committed to doing that, and we know that in our budget for this financial year there is provision for that, to help them put them together, work as teams, so that we are able to get them to the market. Welcome, Dr. Kabwira. You're always here. Please, yeah. Thank you so much. Then the third point on the same. Personally, I would say it's high time we graduated from banking Conde, alumni investments, and started investing in agribusiness and even chain stores that have our own supermarket. PTC and ShopRite started around the same time, 1969, 1976, there about that particular period. Well, ShopRite started in 1969 as one place in Cape Town, then grew, but by the time PTC was established, ShopRite also was being established around the same period, with 5 years difference. ShopRite now is all over Nigeria, Cameroon, all over. Where's PTC now? Dead and buried. What went wrong? What went wrong? We must start from there. Over the past 3 months, our ministry has observed the worst forms of cartels by unscrupulous businessmen who claim to control our economy. Their plan was to make sure that by the end of this month, $1 should be equal to 10,000 kwacha, so that Malawians can blame the Chakwera government for their misery. Yet, it was a manufactured mess to satisfy such people's selfish appetites. One wonders in whose political interest that would have been. Most of you are also aware that in the past 10 days since my appointment as Minister of Trade and Industry, I have led a team comprising officials from the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Competition and Fair Trading Commission, and Malawi Bureau of Standards in conducting ad hoc business premises inspections, initially in Longwe and later in Blantyre. The objective of my visits was to check business compliance with laws affecting the goods, the Control of Goods Act, Competition and Fair Trading Act. On selfish business practices, we have noticed the following in the Limbe market. Number one cooking company said, we have a group of ourselves. Then some people were pressurizing him to raise the price of cooking oil like the others have done, and threatening him to use unorthodox means to deal with his company. And this is true. Holding of essential goods as sugar with the aim of selling them to others at a higher price. We have seen chain stores selling, we sent to our people to confirm. Someone went there, one of us goes there, the green sugar barrel, yet on the shelf there's nothing. We have seen that with our eyes. And again, exporting them. I know someone is exporting in Karonga. We'll deal with him shortly. His time is almost up. He's holding his sugar by Karonga with warehouses. Once we get there, we got pictorial evidence. We'll pass them. So if they are watching, let them know that we know what they are doing. Others have got the warehouse just by a roadblock. We know that what they are doing. Selling of conjugal bills to foreigners and ignoring our conjugal sellers simply because the foreigners are buying in US dollars, yet it is illegal. So Mozambicans and Zimbabweans are coming to buy conjugal from Chinese and Amanyena Kulimbe and Lilongwe. So they prefer them than our local people because they are paying what? US dollars. Yet we don't trade in dollars, we trade in kwacha. Dollars go to the bank or bureau and exchange and get the kwachas. And we're complaining about forex. This is a case of typical discrimination in our own country. Arbitrary increase of prices with no justification. And in one case in Limbi, the price of one product changed twice within a day without justification. We asked the Chinese guy, he was trying to run away with and he couldn't justify his price change. Unjustified profiteering. Issuing one receipt and used by several people as a way of evading tax. Abanga issued the receipt, ndi muntu katundu wake, aenda naye mpaka kumira kupitako, then to bring back the receipt. And the guy with one receipt, 10 people. Now we caught someone and the barrel, ndagula mashati, okay, mashati, ndagula madress, all right. Tone receipt, okunda zanje, masana muyano, ndai zanje atuko loko, all right. Tone receipt, ya 11 koloko, kumagumi mashati. Kuseri kwa mbako not collected. We saw it with our own eyes. It's happening. Deliberately selling expired goods and others warehousing goods that are over a month past their expiry date. The law is clear on expired goods. What were the goods doing in the warehouse except for what the workers claim that they get restamped? Fufuta, also restamp. For what reason? And this is happening in our own country. And one supermarket owned by one Malawian of Southeast Asian origin has contacts with some workers at game stores. So each time they're delivering groceries, they communicate groceries, they send each other and buy everything. Because game sells cheaper than ShopRite and other shops. So they buy everything to force us to their shops. That's why you find that in game, if you've observed, my groceries is very hard to find good, my shelves are full. They're always empty. It's deliberate. It's not Game's problem, but a few managers. And we are discussing with the CG of MRA. We had a discussion. We will soon get to the bottom of this, because it's a bit complicated to get down to the bottom of that. But it is happening, because some managers confessed and confided in us what is happening. Wholesalers opening retail shops after noting that the retail business is hot. For example, Kaunjiga business. We know Kaunjiga business got wholesale and licensing. But retail Guida apply again for what? Retail license. So our laws in terms of the Business License Act of 2012 allow that. We are saying no, let's review this. Wholesale Kaunjiga, stick to wholesaling. Leave Kaunjiga for others. Not only that, we need to restrict some businesses for indigenous Malawians. Botswana does it. They are good for local people. So we need to start looking at those issues. Now, due to all this, the ministry has since started working on the following. Number one, we have got the Director of Legal Services. We are now working on Essential Goods and Services Act. This will take care of some of all these issues we have raised. Essential Goods and Services Act. Economic Sabotage Act. This will take care of many other things, such as price collusions, the forex issues, the fuel issues that people sometimes play games with, and agricultural produce like sugar, tobacco, tea, and others. Then we'll review the Business License Act of 2012 to look at issues of wholesalers doubling as retailers. Malawi Bureau of Standards is reviewing their act and regulations on palliative measures on warehousing and sale of expired goods and changing of expiry dates, because at the moment the palliative measures, they are very weak, and they don't talk with the kwacha fluctuation and the like. Someone would rather default and pay a minimum fee and is free, So we need to move with time and revise the palliative measures. We are talking to Ilovo, who are warm to the idea to open up distribution licenses for sugar, as well as reducing the zones for some existing distributors. Issues of capacities will be raised, could the Malawi capacity and the like, but we need, as Malawians, to come up with a deliberate effort to work in groups. I know many alumni groups. I've got a lot of hit my billion. I know one I belong to. We are in hundreds of millions as our alumni group for the poly at 206, 201. People who are putting money together for 5, 6, 7, 10 years. Let's start working together at groups and start investing in this kind of businesses. It's an opportunity for us to move forward. Now, surprisingly, every month, Malawi consumes about 50,000 tons of sugar every month. So in February, Ilovo released 17.9 tons, 17,900 tons, 17,900 tons of sugar. On average, every month, we consume about 15,000 tons. But in February, they released almost 3 tons more than the average consumption. Why is sugar scarce? It's not about production. There is a reason for that. And in March already, as of last Friday, they have released about 7,000 tons, half of the requirement. But sugar is scarce on the shelves. Why? It's just unscrupulous businessmen that are there for self-gains. In other capitalist economies like ours, they have government-certified valuers who value houses for sale and for rent. When one feels shortchanged, they appeal to a government entity. Look, it does not make sense that in Nyumba ya Housing Corporation, Yemwe Waletsedwa rent 21,000 kwa per month. Akangogula angoma kagula pa, the same day raise rent to 400,000 kwa per month without any value addition. What informs that increase? If there's one major cost in business in Malawi, is premises rentals. And people hold us at ransom. When they see your business is thriving, they increase rentals. So they get part of the profits from you. And that leads to high inflation because the price of goods grows high. We normally talk of maize, yes, but the rentals for premises, for where people do businesses, some of them are justified. So, as a ministry, We will be working with other ministries and respective departments that how can we learn from our friends in the similar economic setup like ours, capitalist, and see what is easy, how can we cover both. They've got the government valuers and certified valuers. You know, Ajiyamaka, you can't sell me a car without a stamp from the road traffic department that the value that this car is worth this much. You can't sell beyond this much. But we're not fees jananga iko na market mafuta kanda good. Mumba, this is my car, this is my price. What informs the value of the car is your problems, not the actual value of the car. You know, we need to start moving towards that direction as a country, and as Minister of Trade, we are keen to follow through this and make sure that this is controlled. Yes, we are a capitalist economy, but we must not let that be an open check for people to do as they wish. Other trade and industry related matters. Number one, MITC, under the leadership of the new board chairman, my brother Godwin Ngoma, has what they are calling special economic zones. Much as our target is foreign direct investments, we have directed MITC to reserve 2 plots for Malawian investors on all the zones except for one at Maguero, which was already taken by one investor from Dubai. It's now time as Malawi we start working on projects like crowdfunding for a project. We are too much into individualism. Before Monyelenda and Esau, the former CEOs for CDH, they're doing crowdfunding for Rudevit. You know Rudevit, isn't it? Do you know Rudevit? Eh? Rudevit, they have bought machinery for fertilizer manufacturing, they are farming. They did crowdfunding. We have about 5 million, 1 million, over 1,000 people. But at the end of the day, you found that the China I said, you found that collectively, they have formed a company with lots of money. We need to borrow this idea of crowdfunding. One airliner in Europe was established through crowdfunding. And over 1,000 put money together and bought an airliner. Now there were about 5 or 6 airliners, I'm told, through crowdfunding. Everyone got a shareholding. You know, I know every 6 months I'll get some dividends based on my what? My shareholding capacity. So we have told MITC, let's reserve 2 plots per economic zone for local indigenous entrepreneurs and see what we can do. Foreigners will take everything. But it's time we started moving to that direction as a country. We can take hold of our economy. MITC was supposed to be the heart of trade and investment, but to date, the institution is far from becoming that. The new board of young and energetic people is very promising, and Malawians can be assured that these people will do a good job. The new board has already started working on a turnaround strategy, but MITC cannot continue to be a bottomless pit where government continues to pump resources via subventions. When younger versions of MITC, like Botswana Investment and Trade Corporation, BITC, is now at 26%, government subvention, 74% their own income what? Generated from their own activities. But it's 3 years younger than ours. But they are already on the few steps away from being independent and winning themselves away from government what? Subventions. The new board is very promising, and their strategic plan is quite good, and they're doing restructuring process, and I can assure Malawians that with this new board and the new management that is going to be employed, we'll be able to graduate from a fully subvented organization slowly until they become independent and self-sustaining. You know, you can't have MITC management 2 years no meeting, zona, and you're the heart of trade and investment. 2 solid years, and the new board discovered that. The past immediate management had planned to have 2 investment forums this year. We have said no more investment forums. Can we do an evaluation? The previous investment forums, who have we brought as an investor into the country through investment forums? There's need to start considering a targeted approach when looking for investors. Malawi needs FDI, but it should be through real investors, not exploiters, like most of what we have at Njewa Industrial Area. As ministry, We'll work with our colleagues in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs so that we continue to get the best out of the trade and investment attaches in our embassies and high commissions. We have trade and investment attaches at our embassies. They're doing a good job, and we will continue to work with them so that we continue getting the best out of them so that we get investors into our country. At the same time, we need to get market for our people in various countries. As a ministry, we are embarking on an exercise to evaluate all the FDIs. There are about 146 who came here and collected investment certificate from MITC as investors. Once they get it, they can be traced or they don't come back. They claim to have invested $2 billion US. Now, in a small economy like ours, a small injection of $20 million, our economy will shake. Now, $2 billion is because they over-declare their investment so that Abang invest $2 billion US, they'll declare $20 million. All right? But now, it's because they'll be saying, no, we are paying back our capital loan, yet these profits run away from tax, and we lose as a country. So we want to audit all these 146 so-called foreign direct investors. What was your initial investment? Otherwise, we might be losing Forex, yet instead of getting Forex from whatever they are producing. This one is an interesting one. Every time I fly, I remember Friday, I was sitting next to Alec Nemenyan, board member from Macras, coming from South Africa, and I asked a question to the hostess. I want chombe tea. Friday Yemwe. Okay, I want Satema coffee. I don't. What about those coffee? What do you have? Rooibos and coffee. Now, our flag carrier, Malawi Airlines, every time I've tried, they don't keep chombe, they don't keep Satema, they don't keep Mzuzu coffee, but they keep international brands. You find that on Ethiopian Airlines, or South African Airlines, or Emirates, Star Airlines, Delta Airlines. They promote their own locally produced products. Now, we talk of biomass strategy. It's just a document. We're not living it. If our national flag carrier is busy promoting international brands, it must start with us, especially government-owned institutions. Since consumers are becoming more and more conscious of standards, MBS has been directed to work with the Gulf region, where there is huge demand for green products, so that we can get mutual recognition agreements, so that whenever we try to send our products that side, their version of MBS should be able to accept our certified products. It's very, very critical and important, because people now are becoming more conscious of standards and quality of whatever they are eating. As a ministry, we're in the process of automating the export and import licenses, so that people can apply for an export and import license in the comfort of their homes. I'm a member of the South African Council of Engineers, and every year renew your practicing license. I don't have to go to South Africa or Botswana or Namibia or England, wherever I'm a member. I apply from my house. I tell Standard Bank or FCB or NBS Bank, can you open my account, don't to pay for a fee? I pay. Within 48 hours, I get my practicing license with a QR code. Simple. But why should the import license, export license take 6 months? It's because everything is manual. So the ministry is already working with my sister there, Msonzo. They are working on automating the application for import and export licenses, so that we shorten the process, but again, we make it very effective and efficiency. At the same time, we will be meeting the Mgona Market Association, so that we are able to put them together, that their produce from there should have one exit point through MRA Customs warehouse. Then we'll be able to get Forex and also track how much is being exported. Right now, it's Alliance Paika. And most of the Tanzanians coming to buy, or Rwandese or Burundians coming to buy there, they buy in Kwacha because they change dollars at the border, black market. Then the country is losing. So we are meeting them next week. We want to start organizing them. And the MRA CG committee that Vitu, we are already also in discussion around that thing at MRA. I think let's work together and move forward, so that we're able to put all these things together and move forward as a country. We will continue to safeguard our hard-earned forex by encouraging consumption of locally produced goods, thereby building resilience of our economy, and this is in line with the vision for Malawi to be an inclusive, worthy, and self-reliant industrialized upper middle income country. I fully understand the concerns that may arise from this decision order, but I assure you that this decision was not made lightly. And if there's someone to blame me. It means maybe implementation and voter, but the directive is good. So we'll take blame for any mishap, but I can assure you there will be no problem in terms of the implementation. It is rooted in a strategic vision for Malawi, centered on promotion of industrialization, which is the heart of Chakwera's government. He always spoke of job creation and wealth creation. Those, if you listen to Chakwera's statements, most of the times he will mention these two: job creation and what? Wealth creation. So this is centered on promotion of industrialization and need to enhance our agricultural productivity and commercialization. I believe that by leveraging our local capacity, we can create a robust market for all Malawians and build a resilient economy. I urge all citizens, stakeholders, and local producers to embrace this growth, this opportunity for growth. Together, we can pave way for a thriving economy that benefits us all. Implementation order will be done through an administrative note, which will be issued by the ministry as soon as possible, and this order will expire in March 2027. It's for 2 years, just 2 years. In closing, I would like to say the following, and I want you to understand me correctly on this one. Every generation must have a cutoff point for tolerating nonsense. You can't expect someone over 50 years old, kumabandiwo mumpika, you know. There are some sins you can commit at that age, not kumabandiwo mumpika AI, you know. Amunanga mutani, abasemoni andi powder making kama, no, those is anangonangono. So every generation must have a cut-off point for tolerating nonsense. 1964 was a cut-off point for colonialism. 1994 was a cut-off point for dictatorship. Unfortunately, 1994 was the beginning of Ndale Zadiera Ndikudielera. It was the beginning of disorganization and umango jita zintu yavi, including in trade and industry. It was the beginning of breeding a generation that accepts criminality and mediocrity as norms. When will the cut-off point be? Assisting the party financially is not a license to illegal activities. I repeat, assisting the party financially is not a license to illegal practices. Kutandiza chipani ndi ndalama by business people is not a license to illegal activities. After closing some shops, some people ran to the president. They're chatting on other things, like a forum, on other things. The HE said, and I quote, they are just doing their job within the law. I personally would like to thank Dr. Chakwera for standing firm on this and for being supportive of our initiatives. A round of applause, please, for the president. As a country, we have worshipped mediocrity for far too long and have lowered our standards so much that when one tries to raise them a bit towards the normal, they are taken as a hero. I repeat, as a country, we have worshipped mediocrity for far too long and have lowered our standards so much that when one tries to raise them to a normal standard, they are taken as a hero. There is nothing extraordinary that the ministry has done, and there's no heroism in all this. I wish to thank all members of the media for availing yourselves this evening to cover this important event. You have a strategic role to inform and educate the entire nation of Malawi. You get your copies from of this press statement from our PRO, Mr. Bota. Where are you, Mr. Bota? There he is. You get the copies for yourselves. Otherwise, thank you all for listening. And there's an attachment of all the local suppliers who have been certified for each item. We have imposed a restriction order. Otherwise, thank you all, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. And that was prayer. Bless you. I will invite questions. In case we have questions, we see clarification somewhere. As I did say in the opening, on the presentation that the Honorable Minister just delivered, or on broader issues to do with the Ministry of Industry and Trade. Anduna mwanena kuti chimene chachitika chija palibe kuswa malamulo. Chifukwa ndibwereze foni mumakamba mchingerezi. Zimene anena anduna kunena kuti zinthu zina mumatha kuletsa kuti izi m'Malawi muno zisabwerenso chifukwa choti komwe kuno timapanga kupanga zimenezo sikophwanya malamulo. Malamulo alipo ovomereza zimenezo. Kuti chifukwa choti timapanga uchi wathu uwu wakunja musabweretse tidzigula wathu. Chifukwa timapanga mkaka wathu ulapa wakunja musabweretse tidzimwa wathu. Chifukwa majombo timapanganso konkuno ndiye kuti akunja aja musabweretse tidzivala majombo wathu. Vinyo uyalapo wakunja musabweretse pa nthawi imene angapereke kuno. Anenanso kuti nthawi zina timasekerera zinthu zopanda pake koma mabwera nthawi yoti machimo tina titisiye kubwira shuga kumaba shuga mafika nthawi yoti masiya kubwira shuga kuja akuti zimene zikuchitikazi president wa dziko lino chidwi chake chofuna kuti tidzigula zinthu zimene akupanga amalawi. President Lazarus Chakwera ali mkatikati monena kuti tidzigula zimene amalawi akupanga. Amalawi adzikondwera akalima adzipanga ndalama. Komanso akuti kutulutsa ndalama nkuthandizira zipani za ndale akuti si visa yokuti mukapangire katangale. Questions mafunso nyumba muno kuti pali mafunso pa nkhani imeneyi koma mukamapitirira kuyankhula mafunso anduna loyambirira limene afunsawo just a minute ndingolivumbulutsa. Loyambirira limene afunsawo ndi Barbara Nyirenda. I don't know if the Nyirenda is the son when you kawiri, koma it's written Barbara Nyirenda. My first concern is how poultry farming is being conducted at the moment. It seems as if the market is for big companies only. They are monopolizing the market. They are doing everything from hatching, making feed, and also selling both live and dressed chickens everywhere. These big companies, they are making sure we do not survive on the market because they are overpricing their feed and chicks. As a small farmer, I would like to ask the government on how they can help us. Barbara Nyirenda. Questions from the House? Yes, please.
All right, my name is Kings Fajasi from Times. I've got 3 questions.
Apologies.
It's okay, I'm just joking, but I will ask 3 questions. The first one is, I don't believe that whatever you're doing, the problems you're identifying, the people in the ministry didn't know about them. I'm pretty sure they knew they were happening. There were people that knew hoarding of products by some retailers, all those things. These people might have been benefiting from that, and they would want to frustrate all these efforts. Or they didn't have an interest to work on these problems. Now your coming has brought in a change that will bring discomfort to these people. What are you going to do to ensure that the efforts are not frustrated eventually? Because we've seen such efforts in other sectors, people bringing in new energy, positive energy, but eventually nothing happens to point at. What are you going to do? The second one, out of the things you've banned, I haven't seen an effort to do the same in the service sector. When I was looking at the trade profile, I saw that services, importation of services is also a big problem. I think about $800 million Malawi paid. And some of these services include ICT products, services, and construction. These are also draining a lot of forex. Is this going to be addressed as well. I believe we have people, you are an engineer yourself, I believe we've got capacity to do construction. What are you going to do to make sure that also save some forex in this area? And I think I've forgotten the third one.
I'm glad.
Like
Thank you. God bless. Hey, let me answer the minister first of all. The issue of toothpick. Remember, Napoleon Zombe is doing that. Napoleon Zombe is producing toothpicks. So we have got someone who does that at the moment. Number one. Number two, the poultry market, one which someone asked Nyenda Nyirenda. Yes, we are aware of the monopolizing of the industry in terms of protection of chicken feed, and they make sure that local people, they struggle to buy chicken feed. And again, what I can say on that one, it's a complex matter that the minister has been working on, and we are still looking into it, and soon we'll be making a statement towards that. But I will assure poultry farmers in Malawi to take a chill pill. But, let me say this. If you go to Bunda, meet Professor Joseph Kuyamba, is I think Dean of Economics. He will tell you something about chicken farming. Ndaizambiri manyumba mutu chicken farming leroro. Chicken nkuku kwa ndani kwa msiska. Papa makara nkuku. Tumasleta nkuku libe. You know that? You've seen that happening. I mean, it's because for you to start a chicken farm, you must start with 3,000 chicks. The first week, you buy 500. Okay? After 7 days, another 500. For 7 days, another 500. Pakuta 6 weeks, remember zijazi, zakula, they are able, yani, then you sell and you repress them. Then just go to zijazi, zakula, so it becomes a seko. Kumambi, you just buy it once, pa, zigata, yeah, I'm going after 6 weeks, customer figure gotigo. So it's the way we do our business as Malawians on that one. But we are looking into the issue, Honorable Minister, and the Nyenda Nyirenda online. My brother from Times, are you a prophet? I know, are you a prophet? All right. All what we have said here and have written here and Manopa has been brought to my attention by the same people. All what we are doing has been brought to our attention by the same people. So I wouldn't agree with your statement on that one, and that one I stand firm on that. The service sector, yes, I agree with you, is the real game changer. Countries now are more into service provision, ICT, education. Were students from Tanzania coming to learn, ministers' children from Tanzania coming to learn at Pwezi. And Kabuza Academy, Zambia, Tanzania. You know, we are providing services in terms of teaching services, education. Panopa, hospital tourism is the biggest forex earner in South Africa, including education. So services, ICT, and many others. We need to look at that. And our service, we're having a discussion on that. We're yet to do mapping, I should be honest. But thanks for bringing it up. It's a thing that we have to look at as a Minister of Trade and Industry. We haven't looked at it, but thanks for bringing it up. I believe you are looking at that. I think take note of that. And my brother, the Chief Economist, please, let's look at that and see good services. Thank you so much for the questions.
Thank you very much, Minister. Yes.
Abusa, are you a journalist? Abusa.
Muzakari mufuna fursa ya Sabado zijaru.
Apostle.
Okay, Honorable Minister Malumbongira from Major FM Radio. My question is on the issue to do with the security in our borders. Time and again, we've been saying that our border security is not that tight. And this time around, knowing that you have put in this ban, how are you working with those in our borders to make sure that the issue of security is tightened and to make sure that the ban shouldn't just be on the paper, but is being implemented on the ground? Thank you.
All right. You see, it's not easy. Adolf Hitler said, only trust a human being when he's dead, he can't think. As long as someone is alive, he thinks, and always come up with ways to beat the system. But where will they sell those products? Because we have got our inspectors and we are watching the shelves. So they can import them, but don't find the market, because the supermarket owners will not be allowed. Once they are found to be selling goods that have been banned, they will be penalized. So that's the way to deal with that. So we have looked at that, and this is the best option we have to deal with the supermarkets that are selling the goods that have been banned. Thank you very much. Apostle.
Yeah.
Bwana awawa asingeni mpira kamalizo eti. Atakabwela kusoma funzo yayi.
So you do that.
All protocols observed. Ndiyamba ndindemanga osati funso. Tindi cross-border trade. Anzata Zambia, anzata Tanzania. China mwina sitimajiunikira kwambiri chimene chimakhala ngati chikutisowetsaso kuti forex zikangati kutivuta ndi maiko amene tazungulirana a Mozambique chani. Mabanki athu sakhala ndi Zambia kwachi. Mabanki athu sakhala ndi Tanzania nchili. Sakhalanso ndi Medcash. Ndi ndimaona ngati kuti zinthu ngati zimene zizi ndi zinthu zoti mwina tiziunikire kwambiri. Chifukwa there's a lot of trade ife ndi Zambia, ife ndi Tanzania, ife ndi Mozambique. Yambiri kwa basi. So zinthu ngati zimene zimaona ngati pena pake sitimaziunikira bwinobwino. Pamenepo ndifuna kuti mwina mutithandizeko munikire zimenezo. China ndaona list ya zinthu zimene mwayika kuti zibanidwe, koma pali chinthu china mmene ndikuona ngati mwina sininamvetsetse bwinobwino, koma ndikuona ngati palibepo. Kumalawi kunoko kuli makampani anzathu. I'll just mention one well-known, Brown Trailers in Blantyre. Amapanga matrailer abwino kwambiri. Akupanga ma water bowsers abwino kwambiri. Even matanka omwe wa fuel. Koma sinaone kuti mukuletsa anthu kuti asamabweretse zinthu ngati zimenezo matrailer kuchoka kunja. Ndikufuna kuti pamene popo mupaonikirepo for anthu akuwumba ndithu zinthu zabwino kwambiri. Olo maujeni awa, ngolo za ujeni, za mafamos. Akumaumba zabwino kwambiri. Ndi anthu ngati amene wawa ndikufuna kuti mwina ngati apo sindaziponya ineyo, koma ngati palibepo tiaunikireso anthu ngati amene wawa akuwumba zinthu zabwino. Funso lina kwa anthu amene ndinaona kuti munayika tsiku lonena kuti zinthu zija ziyene kupangidwa observe ndipo ziyena kuchitika. Kwa anthu amene angakhale kuti zinthu zawo anapanga kale order kuti zikubwera mwina zinatenga zitenga kanthawi ndithu zidakabwera paja kumayiko akunjako mwina zinamatenga miyezi ndithu. Pali njira yanji imene muwathandizira anthu ngati amene chifukwa ndalama zawo zinapita kale ziko.
I think pandemanga yanuzo we have taken note. I think we've taken note, as well as Yama Trail and my browsers and farm cards. I didn't know myself. Thanks for bringing to our attention. And we need they should work with us. If Mapanga is easy, or the capacity, whatever, and like let's look at that, and that's the only way we can have an industrial and trade revolution in our country. Regarding Antamina Guragare, they are in transit. It's not just distributed blindly, but as long as they show us proof of receipts from the day of purchase. And maximum, we know what it goes in Malawi in 3 months, unless you have some other challenges, but by 3 months maximum. But the West, in the 18 to 45 days. Worst case scenarios have been in 3 months. So we'll look at the payments, the day the payments were made. So we'll be able to allow them in based on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Isanjawala.
Thank you, sir.
And there was another hand here. Do we have Zanjarina Sovin? So we're taking those final ones. Thank you very much, Patrick.
Nziko mukambire. Anduna proposal ya Best Buy Malawi. Yabwino koma pena zimapezeka kuti ma products athu quality yake yosakhala ma standard yabwino. And izumachitika chifukwa chonena kuti amene akupangawo amadandaula kuti ma raw materials akuchokera mwina kunja. Boma lipanga chani kuonesesa kuti mwina mwake akuthandizidwa kuti ma raw materials amene akugula chifukwa amene amapangisa kuti achite consider element ya price ndi mwina mwake otanga akwanise. I'm thinking in terms of maybe tax holidays and any special provision that can help them. Chachiwiri, what is it that government intends to do to ensure that it protects local industries? Elsewhere, in Europe, you would find that there are efforts that are made, for example, by government. I would just want to give an example. If uniforms are being made, say for the armed services, for example, you would not get that. But you discover that in our country, even government tends to get stuff that is locally produced, but then it imports such things. So just looking at what is it that you are going to do to empower the local producer, but also ensure that quality itself is of international standard. Thank you, sir.
Inezilanga ndine Robert Jafari. Of course, I'm just a guest, but I'm a farmer, a poultry farmer.
Poultry farmer.
Yes.
Mbuzi kutiko mwenye imozi nyawele nguku imozi.
Ya
Nduna.
Sina bwelesi fote.
Bakani pansa mwenye. All right, yeah, continue.
Yeah. Ulimi mene unawuyamba 1999. Ndaphunzitsa ana school kudzera ku ulimi umenewu. Mbuyomo timatha kuoda zipangizo zathu kwa Charles Stewart. Kwa vumbwe uko kuyambira anapiye pakale sofidi. Mitengo yake inali yomverera chifukwa choti inali yoti tisapotane ngati Malawi. Patabwera Central Poultry zinthu zinayamba kusintha. Kunayamba kubwera tima restrictions tina. Kenako Central Poultry inakhala ngati yachita take over. Pakati pa panabwera makampani ena kunali imene imachedwa Crown inayi kunchewu uko. Akachita produce nkhuku zawo zimakhala za mitengo yabwino. Tikafuna napiye timapeza pa mtengo wabwino. Tikafuna feed timampeza pa mtengo wabwino. Nthawi itadusa pang'ono anayigula company manager kukhala yawo.
Anagwanda
Central Poultry. Ndiye panabadwaso company ina chakwanchewa uko amaicha SS. Imatusaso nkhuku zabwino, anapiye abwino, komanso feed timagula pa mtengo wabwino. Gradually anapezekaso Central Poultry anakayigula company manager.
Company yani?
SS.
SS, okay.
Now, chimene chimachitika kwambiri chonena kuti anthu aja akamatipanga empower, makampani ena akabwera amatipanga empower ifeyo. I guess, I don't know ngati policy ilipo yona kuti akhale ndi social responsibility imeneyo. Ife timasangala chifukwa choti akabwera amatipasa ma raw materials pa mitengo yomverera kuti ifeso titha kutani, titha kutukuka, ndipo timatukukadi. Now, Central Poultry itagula kwa makampani amenewa anayamba kuti chita restrict ifeyo kawetedwe ka nkhuku, like kuti pasana piye ochepa. Kenako anayamba kukweza kwambiri feed ucha. Poyamba apo timatha kumvesa una kuti mwina chifukwa chonena kuti pokweza feed paja mwina tipanena kuti mwina ma products awo amakhala kuti nthawi imeneyo akugula amodula. Komano ma products ambiri opangira feed amagula nthawi ya season, mitengo yawo imakhala yochipa. Now kuti ndizibwera kuno tamva kuti pali this press conference tinapempha kwa Honorable Moses Bunkuyo kuti if you can be part of this gathering, ndiye ananena kuti you can come as a guest. Ndiye tinabwera kuti izane kuti what justification is there kuna kuti apart from kumamva kuti zinthu zakwera mtengo, koma feed apapa mbuyomu okweresesa timagula 78,000, koma they jumped from 78,000 to 161,000. Titadandaula kwapezeka kuti akangati achita reduce kuchoka ku 161 kujana zafika pa 147, komabe we see that rise as prohibitive. Chimene chikuchitika nchonera kuti nkhuku inali yochipirapo kusiyana ndi beef. Ma household ambiri amakonda kugula chicken than beef. Koma of late kwapeza kuti nkhuku imene timayigula ma 85, if you go to the market today mukapeza kuti ili pa 15 kapena 18,000 kwacha. Ndeno pena pake maona ngati kuti is unrealistic kuti mitengo yawo mmene akuti akukwezera. Anapiye timagula posachedwa pa 900 kwacha mwanapiye, then anachita raise anali pa 1,700. Koma from there achoka pene kufika 2.2. Zomwe tikuona kuti they are trying to kill the local farmer chifukwa choti ma producers akuluakulu aja anathana nawo, koma akufuna kuti panopo azigulisa okha. Going forward, kupeza kuti market iwo aja ali ndi kuthekera komagulisa ma big supermarket kaya kusana which misika ikulu. koma apezeka kuti akuyenda ndi mavani akhala ngati madistributor omwewo maliteras omwewo ati aodesa kwa mavenda komanso akayima mphepete mwansewu kuyambanso kugulitsa zi retail. Mutithandize bwana.
I will say this without fear of contradiction and with a clear conscience. Most of the complaints that indigenous black Malawians have in terms of business, they are against our friends Malawians of Asian origin. Almost 100%. Now, when you address such issues, they claim Mumbai or Aboma, they're targeting us. But you're the only person being complained about by everyone else. So what targeting are you talking about? We as Malawians are not vindictive people. We are called the warm heart of Africa because we love everybody and we are peaceful people. But sometimes people take advantage of our love and our peace loving and abuse us, and abuse us. That story reminds me of the same story of this gentleman. All right? I shared earlier on of how someone of Malayan origin, of Indian origin, got out of this plan and wanted to shortchange him. You see, I spoke earlier that we want to review the Business Licenses Act. Currently, it gives freedom to the wholesaler and retailer. Now we want to change that. If you do wholesaling, don't go into what? Retailing. And that's what we are working on, and we're doing it with speed. So, those who are doing that, the Chakwera lady government is bringing it to an end. When in the parliament he said, I will do these cartels, he really meant it, and he gave us strict instructions to do what he has instructed us. And we are just doing what the president wants. This predatory business approach, unfortunately, is synonymous with capitalist economies like ours. It's a challenge to control it. It's like a liberal market, so people can do whatever they want to do, predatory kind of business approach. But with the Business Licenses Act, we'll be able to curb this tendency by wholesalers who try to steal from land business people with, by being retailers as well. On the same, we are yet to engage CP feeds because there are claims that even the way they sell feed, I'm saying claims, so we don't take a quote CP feed, but there are claims from people who are complaining to our office that they have got a discriminatory way of selling feed. Ntengo wantu wakuda umakalokulirako wazinzao ocheperapo. Kamuziwa, I don't know if you have heard about that. So those are the things that we are hearing. So we want to engage and say, no, gentlemen, let's be fair. You always complain that we're targeting you, but you are the best people that you are targeting and discriminating Malawians, indeed black people from businesses and the like. So be assured that the government of Chakwera, through the review of the Business Licenses Act 2012, will take care of all those things. And I feel for your struggle, and I feel for all chicken farmers, but be assured that if need be, we can go the Botswana route, whereby they actually are listed with business amapanga enintaka ish. They have listed those kind of companies just because of the same unscrupulous businessmen. So we need to support each other. When someone is trying to do the same thing, someone said, every time I'm fighting for Africans, I have to use the other hand to fight Africans who are fighting me. You know, we don't work together towards one direction, but we want to pull each other down. So people, business, let's unite as a force and work together so that these things is telepompa. Otherwise, thank you for all the questions.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Komanso tibwereze kuthokoza khala kuti mafunso anana akubwera abe apa koma I believe kuti
okay.
No, ababa mwina okay. Nuli Kamanga Asha akuti Malawi, let's produce quality things. Ntedza tidzisankha nsinjiro kumapezeka mchenga ntedza ola kwasinjira limodzi kuchigaya mpunga utibuka koma uli pamsika nyemba zinazola zili pamsika. What is it that we are claiming people are not buying local products, yet we ourselves are failing that iye ni bwanji tisinthenso ifeyo? Ndona ndi malangizo chabe kupita kwa malakoma wina sakunazo nyaneba favor akuti zinaso
Zinagero?
ati nyaneba
Favor. Okay. Nyaneva.
Oh, Nyaneva.
Watu kundiwa amene.
All right. Okay. Oh yeah, ndo Nyaneva. Akuti zimakhalanso zodula zopanga ku Malawi izo. Mupanga chani kuonetsetsa kuti zimene zimapangidwa ku Malawi izo sakhale zodula chifukwa ngati mmene mwateremu mawapatsano chilolezo chokuti
Adulise.
pangani ndipo mudulitse.
You see, the problem with us Malawians, timafuna kulemera nsanga. Kuyamba lero business mawe endele Prado. And it's only common in Malawi. Go to Zambia, they don't have that kind of culture. Go to our neighbor Zimbabwe, go to Mozambique, they don't have that culture. They believe in economy of scales, volumes, and making money. But Malawi, tuoneke kuti pa Facebook, doing this, I'm saying this, and they're saying things, not good in the community, but I'm going to we are doing business. You know, and because we have given a picture to people that want to do business, we want to be seen living that life of a businessman. It's not the way to go. People asked us, why didn't you just increase tax on imported goods and restricting? It's because of Malawi, what I was told by my friends from trade and industry, wapanga nkaka wake, amapita ku ShopRite aone nkaka wakunja mtengo wanji, then he matches that price. So if we increase tax, they will match that increased price. You know, that's why we didn't go that route. And I thought, no, don't think we are crazy heads. We all went to school, you know. But we had to do mapping, and I said, can't we just put punitive taxes on imports? But Malawi, so they don't build up the price from basic principles of economics and their pricing. They would rather compare, which is not correct. So that is a big concern, and our director of trade and goods and also our service and the like, they will be monitoring our prices going down, and that we have already put in place the systems. I'm showing Malawians because they're paying locally what produced.
No, thank you very much.
Okay.
Yes, please.
What do you do? Are you brothers?
Matwizi.
Ndi twin wanga amene.
Koma abusa ndamozi.
Abusa ndamozi? Wina chidakwa. I'm joking.
And I'm upcoming pastor also.
Okay. Upcoming, huh?
Hey.
Not prophet, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dziko mokwambiri from my umenewu. Ine ndili ndi dandaulo. Limene likhale ndi funso kuti mutithandize. Maboda mutikamapanga import zinthu. Makamaka magali moto. Timakumana ndi vuto loti ukamalowa pamene paja umayenera kuonetsa invoice yakumene wagula kuja chinthu chake mtengo wake kuti iwo apange duty kapena msonkho kuti iwe ulipire polowetsa chinthucho. Koma umati ukaonetsa invoice ija amatsutsa kwambiri. Almost every invoice is given a query pa boda paja. Ayichi sichingakhale mtengo umenewo. Munthu uli ndi njira yopezera zinthu mosiyanasiyana, mitengonso yosiyanasiyana kunja aina timati connections. Chinthu chimene wina akhoza kuchipeza 100,000 rands, ine ndikhoza kuchipeza 50,000 rands chomwecho. Koma ndikabweretsa ine invoice yanga ya 50,000 rand, akuti chinthu ichi sichingakhalime. What do they do next? Amapita pa internet akuyang'ana chinthu chija, apeza mtengo wawo 400,000 rand, akuchaja iweyo msankho kutengera chimenecho kuti ichi mwajudula. Not everyone amajudula invoice, kukonza invoice kuti aitsitse mtengo. Zina zimakhala zoona. Koma chifukwa chokuti mutu kamwa anthu ogwira ntchito amaganiza kuti chilichonse nchokonza, tikumapanidwa kwambiri ndi zinthulo zili zoona zenizeni. Not only cars, but almost every goods amapatsidwa kwere akamalowa ku Malawi kunoko. Therefore, tikumafinyidwa kwambiri kulipira duty yochuluka pa chinthu choti chinali choonadi. Kumene kuti kuunikireni. Pali nkhani inaso maboda mwatumu mulibe ma bureaus, yeti ma charges ena azinthu timachajidwa foreign currency pamene pachapa. Nenauzidwako ndithu tsiku lina ndikulowa kuchoko Zambia ndikuti tilibe ndalama yakunja, tirani kuti charge ndi yakunja. Anene pano timalandira $dollars okhaokha. Pitani mukasinthe panjapo. Ndikasinthe panja palibe bureau, anthu amapanga zimenezo. I said you are an officer wa boma. Ukundiuza kuti ndikasinthe ndalama pa black market bwanji. Ine ndalama yakunja nditenga bwanji pano pandilibe inu mulibepo bureau. mpaka nakasinthadi pamene paja pa munthu ndithu munthu wamba naye wopanga acting at bureau pa border kuti ndipereke kuti ndilowe kunoko ndi zimene zitithandizeni koni tiunikireni koni zikomo.
Can you come this side? I want to joke about something. Can you come this side? I want to joke about something. They face the audience. Face the audience. Nkope shoka ikisakale nkope yokai wini nkope uindi kutambwari uyi. No wonder ama kufinya andi ufijidwa abe mpwanga.
Muntu aliyesooneka bwino maona nganditambwari.
All I can have a seat second. All right. I think I've taken note of that. I've faced that myself a number of times, and always. I'm into business as well. I import things, but uplifting. Sometimes, but this is genuine invoice, and some of them are done by bank transfers from here to Dubai, South Africa. This is the invoice, and this is the TT. No, this is the price of bank uplift. So I've also seen that, and I experienced that now and again. So I think I've taken note of that, and I think I know information. You also I don't know, but quite as trade, and I'm a witness to what you have just raised. Thank you very much on that issue. You're paying dollars for local fees at the border again. I think that is noted. It's a thing that we, as government, have to look at that, and so it don't mandate alone because it borders around other ministers as well. So I can't comment conclusively, but all I can say, on of those complaints. Thank you very much.
No, tatokoza kwambiri Nduna ndokhulupirira kuti mafunso amene analipo ena wonga mbiri koma I think tikhonza kunazo nthawi zina kudziwa pochokera mbwalo ndichoka dansi idakali bwinobe ndeba noboka dansi kakali bwino ndokhulupirira kuti mafunso ena amene alipo tikhonza kufunsidwa ndipo akhoza kupitira kubwera tikupatsani machitira kuti next week we can have carry over questions and you can respond to those. But mene mwayankhira kwa mbale nalikungwi pa nkhani ya kumaboda uko zimene zimachitikazo komanso pali funso lina limene likupitirira kubwera linayambira pompano kuti nazo we do not recognize my currencies ena in our banks and my bureaus like Tanzanian shillings, Zambian kwacha, and Mozambican meticas. Not necessarily we do not recognize wamina availability. Those ones have been noted, and when we are bringing the Minister of Finance to this program, those ones would be some of the questions that the Honorable Minister of Finance would be tasked to attend to. Tikafika hapo, Honorable Minister Nduthokozeni for the wonderful time. Let's give it out to the Honorable Minister. Nduna, as Mapunziro Higher Education, Honorable Dr. Jessica Bwira, we always appreciate your presence. Tukudziwa mbali naye mumavala chisoti cha mneneri wa chipani cha Malawi Congress Party ziwiri zimendetsa boma limodzi. So your presence is always appreciated. My PS athu tikuthokozeni kwambiri from trade, from information. We always appreciative for your presence. Our wonderful audience in the house, komanso olemba ndikulu sankhani, komanso amene akutionera kuchokera ku nyumba. Tikukhulupirira kuti we've been of service to you tonight, and mukhalaponso nthawi ina imene tingakuyitaneni kuti kodi tabwerani. Koma take it from us, from the Ministry of Information, in the Department of Information, that we appreciate your presence. These appearances to the nation are being given the prominence because of your participation. Not only your coming here, but your participation, active participation. We want to be talking to the country. If we are here to serve you, we are here to serve you, and we are the servants of the people now. So mafunso yamuli nawo ufuna kuboma kuti boma likulijani. Ko ufunsa kundi kunoko. Eni ndaonapo anthu na minister akonena kuti koma chifukwa chakuti tinapatsidwa mpata ufunsa tikuona kuti zinthu zina sitimazidziwa. You know, the display that is there, ena mafunsa masana kuti mukamaliza kuti apa ndeti tizitenga kutiko. Koma the display that you've brought here with your officials zatithandizira kuti anthu adziweza kuti mmene mwanenazo kuti chakuti chisabwere sikuti saadya ayi chimenecho. Adya abe kumalawi kuno. Mmene mwanazo kuti this should not come sikuti sizipezeke kumalawi kuno. We have plenty of those, and we believe there are still other items, products and services zimene timapanganso kumalawi koma we're still importing in bulk. Ena manena za matrela aja nkhali kuna kuzinayambolowera ngati ukadiveti choncho. We appreciate all that. Honorable Minister, thank you very much, and thank you everyone. God bless you.
tikafika bonde kuti so tafika pa mapeto pa msonkhano wa atolankhani umene umachitika mu mzinda uno wa Lilongwe. Makamaka msonkhanowu anakonza ndi anduna ona za malonda ndi mafakitale mogwirizana ndi unduna ofalitsa uthenga. Makamaka nkhani imene amafotokoza kuno ndiyokhudza chiletso chomwe ayika chakatundu wina imwe timagula kunja bwera naye mdziko muno. Ndi iwo amanena kuti kodi chiletso chimenechi chithandiza bwanji Malawi. Ndi amafotokoza kuti chiletso chimenechi chithandiza mwa zina kuti anthu mdziko muno azitha kupanga katundu ochuluka komanso kuti anthu ena apeze mwayi wa ntchito kudzera mu katundu ameneyi. Komanso tu andunawa anakambapo kapenanso kuyankha mwina mafunso osiyanasiyana amene anthu akhala kufunsa kandi pa masamba mchezo enanso mwina akhala kukambirana kufunsana m'makwalalamu. Zonsezi ndithu anduna ayankha kunena kuti kodi chiletso chimenechi chikutanthauzanji nanga katundu amene aletsa kuti asamalowe mdziko munoyo ndi uti. Anena kuti ndithu zinthu ngati zimene zaletsedwa kwathu kuno tikhoza kukwanitsa tokha kupanga katundu monga ameneyo. Ndiye inenso ndikafika pano bwanji ndikuperekeni ku nyumba yathu youlutsa mawu komanso zithunzi mu mzinda wa Blantyre. Dzina langa ndi Joyful Paliani.
Osayiwala kupanga subscribe ku channel ya AMTV Malawi.